You walk into your backyard. A squirrel sees you and completely loses its mind. Sprinting, freezing, sprinting again. You weren't even looking at it. You're soft. You're slow. You get winded climbing 2 flights of stairs. Basically harmless. Almost comedic. But that squirrel's brain just ran a calculation it didn't learn. It inherited it from thousands of generations of ancestors who didn't survive encounters with things shaped roughly like you. That panic isn't an overreaction. It's a survival algorithm. And according to every animal on this planet, you are not soft, not slow, not harmless. You are the most terrifying predator that has ever existed. So what do animals actually know about us that we've forgotten about ourselves? This fear didn't start with guns, or agriculture, or fire. It started millions of years ago. Ecologists call it the landscape of fear. Prey animals don't just react when a predator is in front of them. They shape their entire existence around the possibility of one being nearby. Feeding patterns, sleeping spots, water sources, all calibrated around avoiding death. Early humans were part of that calculation for hundreds of thousands of years. We were persistence hunters, not fast, relentless, jogging through the heat of the day until prey collapsed from exhaustion. To a gazelle, a distant shape jogging steadily, never stopping, that was one of the most horrifying things it could witness. And this fear was never learned individually. It was selected. The animals that didn't run from a human silhouette got eaten. The ones that did run survived and passed that wariness forward. Repeat across thousands of generations. And you get animals with human fear written into their DNA. Not a behavior, an algorithm. Here's where it stops making sense. A mountain lion has no natural enemy. It should fear nothing. In 2016, researchers at the University of Western Ontario tested this directly. They played audio near wild predators. Not other predators, not roars or howls, just ordinary human conversation. The kind you'd hear at a bus stop. Mountain lions fled at more than twice the rate they fled from other predator sounds. Bobcats, deer, skunks, possums all bolted harder from human voices than from any other recorded threat. An apex predator, fleeing the sound of someone chatting about their weekend. That doesn't make sense unless humans broke the normal rules of fear entirely. Most predators follow patterns. A wolf hunts at dawn and dusk. A crocodile ambushes near water. Prey animals evolve to read those patterns, knowing them is what keeps you alive. Humans don't fit that model. We hunt morning and night, alone and in groups with fire, spears, rifles, drones, on land, water, and from the air. There's a concept in behavioral ecology called predator recognition, how prey sort threats into categories. Big cat, bird of prey, canine. Humans refuse to sort. We smell weird, move weirdly, and sometimes feed pigeons in a park. To an animal brain, we're an unsolvable variable. And that triggers one response. Maximum avoidance, always. Every other predator can eventually be outthought. You can't. Habituation, when an animal is repeatedly exposed to something without negative consequences, its fear response downgrades. No survival advantage to fleeing people who throw bread daily. So city pigeons, after generations alongside us, have had that fear deleted. Crows take it further. Studies show crows recognize individual human faces. They remember people who've wronged them, harass that exact person for years, recruit other crows, teach their young who's dangerous. They haven't just lost fear, they've built a generational surveillance file on us. The fear isn't permanent, it's a live calculation. The moment the data stops supporting it, evolution deletes it, without sentiment. In places where humans have genuinely never been present, animals show almost no fear response at all. The Galapagos are the most famous example. When Darwin arrived in the 1830s, he documented birds that didn't fly away. He threw a marine iguana into the surf, expecting it to flee. It swam straight back and sat beside him again, completely unbothered. Same pattern in parts of Antarctica. Penguins walk straight up to researchers, inspect their gear. Zero fear. There's no inherited memory telling them we're dangerous. That iguana's entire lineage never taught it to fear something like Darwin. So when it happened, the lesson genuinely wasn't there. Fear isn't written into prey animals by default. It has to be taught by us, generation after generation. A 2019 UC Santa Cruz study found puma fear of humans doesn't stop at the puma. When mountain lions avoid human active areas, deer there face less predation. Deer populations rise. They overgraze the vegetation. Coyotes, bobcats, and foxes also pull back so the rodents they control start expanding unchecked. Every layer of the food web shifts because of one thing, our presence, and the fear radiating from it. No hunting happens on that trail, no violence, but the lion that used to patrol it avoids it now. We don't just change ecosystems by what we hunt. We change them by what we make everything else afraid to do. Here's the part that changes everything you just learned. The fear that protects animals from us is now working against them. Animals hide so effectively that we underestimate our own impact. We walk through a forest, see almost nothing, and read that absence as nature doing just fine. It's not fine. It's just hiding from us so well we can't see it. And the cruelest part, That same fear becomes a wall in conservation. The populations most affected by human activity are also the hardest to study and protect because they're trained to disappear the moment we arrive. A signal designed to be protective has become an obstacle, built completely by accident. You're back in that backyard, same squirrel, still panicking, but you understand it differently now. It's the inherited verdict of hundreds of thousands of years of evidence. And here's the hopeful part. Fear that's learned can also be unlearned. Mountain gorilla tourism programs in Rwanda and Uganda have documented gorilla groups that once fled rangers on site gradually learning to tolerate, sometimes even welcome human presence. Not because they forgot to be afraid, because they were given enough data to update the model. The fear is a live calculation. It can run in either direction. The squirrel having a meltdown on your lawn isn't being dramatic. It's running a survival program refined across hundreds of thousands of years, and that program has only ever reached one conclusion about you. You are the thing every other thing should be afraid of.